Welcome back, warrior. We are on 2nd Nephi chapter 4. It feels like we're going so fast all of a sudden. It was like on my social media, I'm still posting up something from 1st Nephi chapter 17. So it feels like now we're going by so fast. Something that's super fun to see is where the pictures are in the picture scriptures. And in this chapter, this is... let's see, there's like multiple pictures of chapter 1 and chapter 5, or just kidding, just chapter 5. It kind of skips over. But anyway, here's the picture that is the only picture in chapter 4. Let's see if we can, is it showing? Able to see it? And let me read it. It says, after Lehi died, Laban and Lemuel became angry with Nephi and wanted to kill him. They did not want Nephi, their younger brother, to be their leader. Of course not, right? Hold on one second. Okay, so yesterday we read all about how Nephi was, Joseph, how Lehi was talking to Joseph, and then we were talking about Joseph Smith and then Joseph of Egypt, okay? And so now we're going to be in this chapter, and chapter 4, just trying to get all my note things together here for you. Okay, so it says so we're on chapter 4. Okay, Lehi counsels and blesses his posterity. He dies and is buried. Nephi glories in the goodness of God to him. Nephi puts his trust in the Lord forever. Okay, our scripture, our Come Follow Me manual has a little spiel about chapter 4. So I was going to read that. It says, Nephi said that he would write the things of my soul in verse 15. As you read what he wrote in 2nd Nephi chapter 4, ask yourself, what are the things of my soul? Oh, I like that. Consider writing them down as Nephi did and sharing them with people you love. Okay, so I need to write down that question because it's important. Some things that right off the bat are my children, my husband, being able to share my testimony about Jesus Christ is so important to me. Some of my friends, and definitely being able to serve in the way that I can to help women who have struggled with betrayal trauma. And providing strength where we need it, right? And to fight back. So I want to be able to teach. And that's like something of my soul. Also designing things. I love the computer, and selling things, or more like selling the things that people are passionate about, I guess. It's just like a way to validate your passion. But it seems like we need to go. It's time to go to driver's ed. So we will be back. Okay, so that was some of the things of my soul. I think if I can figure out, maybe write it out, then it'll be a little bit more concrete. But that was just, for sure, the design thing is something that I love to do. Oh, and prints and copies and that kind of stuff is also my jam. Anyway, so I like that challenge. And then it says, seeing how Nephi found comfort when he felt overwhelmed and anxious can help you when you have similar feelings. Look in verses 15 to 35 for passages that bring you comfort. Do you know someone else who might find comfort in these passages? Okay, and then the couple talks that, or a talk that they recommend us reading is called The Things of My Soul. And it is in the October 2021 General Conference by Elder Ronald A. Rasband. So that will be fun. I'm going to make sure to put a link in the description for that. All right, let's get into it. Now I have to find where I'm at, always. I feel like the pausing thing is great, but at the same time, it's not great. because then you have all the excuses to pause it, and it's so easy to pause. Like, why did I do that? It's fine. It's fine. The pausing is good. I got to get stuff done too. And it just goes to show, the kids how much I really do like to read my scriptures, and have them available on the table is just kind of like a reminder for them, right? Okay, so here we go. Verse 1 of 2 Nephi chapter 4. And now I, Nephi, speak concerning the prophecies of which my father hath spoken concerning Joseph, who was carried into Egypt. Wait, didn't I read this? I feel like I read this. I think I'm in chapter 5. Okay, sorry. I was a little bit confused. And apparently Nephi is now going to elaborate on the things that Lehi and Joseph were talking about, or what Lehi was talking about to Joseph. So that's why I was a little confused, but we're fine. I'm like, I know it was chapter 3 that I read yesterday. And I'm like, I know I'm not going crazy, but it's possible that I'm going crazy. Okay, for behold, he truly prophesied concerning all his seed, and the prophecies which he wrote, there are not many greater. And he prophesied concerning us and our future generations, and they are written upon the plates of brass. Wherefore, after my father had made an end of speaking concerning the prophecies of Joseph, he called the children of Laman, his sons and his daughters, and said unto them, Behold, my sons and my daughters, who are the sons and the daughters of my firstborn, I would that ye should give ear unto my words. For the Lord God hath said that inasmuch as ye shall keep my commandments, ye shall prosper in the land, and inasmuch as ye will not keep my commandments, ye shall be cut off from my presence. But behold, my sons and my daughters, I cannot go down to my grave, save I should leave a blessing upon you. For behold, I know that if ye are brought up in the way ye should go, ye will not depart from it. Wherefore, if ye are cursed, behold, I leave my blessing upon you, that the cursing may be taken from you and be answered upon the heads of your parents. I really love this verse 5, that I should leave a blessing upon you, for behold, I know that ye are brought up in the way ye should go. I think the way that Lehi says that basically means, like, we taught you everything that you need to know, and he also, he has the confidence to say that we taught you what you need to know. And as a parent, can we get to that point? Can we say that we have taught them everything that they need to know for salvation, for need to know about Jesus Christ, need to know enough about things so that they can want to experience it on their own? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I could not say that with confidence. We have taught you well. No, I couldn't ever say that. So I think that's powerful to be able to say that as a parent. And then he says that the blessing that he leaves may be, or that if there were something like them being cursed, that the curse may be taken off of them, but be put on the parents' heads. Now, this is something similar to what I've learned in business and training employees and things like that. I used to have a team that I would run customer service, and if my team did not know how to do something, it was my fault. It was not their fault. It was my fault for not teaching them well enough to be able to have them do it themselves, or for them to have the confidence to be able to do it themselves. And so it always comes back down to the person who is training you, right? Or who's your manager. These are the people that have the responsibility to teach you what you need to know to do your job correctly. And Lehi was basically saying, look, I've taught you everything, but guess what? If there is a curse, I hope that it comes up on our heads, because it's my fault that that you're not doing stuff the way that you need to do it, because they didn't teach them well, right? Or something. Now, I think it's powerful as a leader to take that responsibility or take that ownership of like your teaching or your leadership and how your team is able to do things or not, it does fall upon your head. Now, that being said, there are also parents that struggle with blaming themselves for the lack of their children's testimonies, for their children's actions, not aligning with what they have been taught or what the parents think they have taught them, I should say. And despite our efforts as a parent, I think it's different than being an employer, okay? Because as a parent, like they didn't get to choose to be our child, or at least they don't remember choosing to be our children, right? And so they think they've just landed upon this relationship. And so for them, and I mean, for us, right, as children also, when our parents tell us to do things, we're going to use our agency always to do whatever we want to do and do it according to how we think is best. Okay. So just for example, today, my kid said they had soccer practice at 2:30 and it was 2:45 when he walked through the door. And I was like, that's crazy. They said it was at 3:30. Are you sure? And he's like, yeah, totally sure. My friend blah, blah, blah said this. And I was like, well, maybe your friend's crazy, right? So I sent a message to the group of parents for the team, and I got a response that was like, yeah, it's at 3:30. Don't worry. Okay. Then, so then I still dropped off my teen early. I still dropped off my son early because I was like, he's going to bug me to death if I don't drop him off now. So it was a good thing I dropped him off because guess what? He was right and I was wrong. And so were all the people on the text thread. Not one person chimed in except for one person, or I guess except for that one gal, nobody else chimed in and said that, yeah, they had the practice at 2:30 and it was about 3:00 when I dropped him off. Anyway, so at 3:45, he's calling me like, you need to come pick me up. And I was like, what? Is it over? And he's like, yeah, I was right. It was at 2:30 and you were wrong. And I was like, wow. So there's going to be those times where parents are wrong. And as much as we think that we're right or we're doing the right thing, we're wrong. And we can interpret things differently. We can interpret things incorrectly. And we don't know all the details. But we do know that we're trying to help our children. We're trying to protect them. We're trying to do the best for them. And if I would have taken him earlier, he would have looked like if it had been the standard schedule and I took him earlier and then they would not have appreciated the fact that he showed up at a time he wasn't supposed to be there, because they don't want to have to deal with teenagers when they don't need to, right? But because it was a totally different schedule today and nobody told me, he was supposed to be there at 2:30 instead of 3:30. Anyway, he got to practice for 30 minutes to 45 minutes. So I think it's important for us to realize that our children are going to have their free agency. And if they start making those choices that are not aligned with what we have taught them or what we believe or what they have said that they believe, or what they once believed, don't be so hard on yourself, okay? Because it's completely different. As much as we would like to compare a business relationship with a family relationship, it's totally different. And I remember as a youth, if my parents ever told me to do something, mostly my mom, and my dad, I guess, but my parents got divorced when I was little. Anyway, so if they ever asked me to do something or wanted me to do something or told me to do something, I was not doing it. Like, it was like set in stone that I was not going to do it. Like my dad always wanted me to take karate. Not one time did I ever take karate while I was a youth, and didn't have a desire until I think I started watching some more superhero movies, and then I was like, I need to take some karate. But anyways, isn't it funny? Like, I know that our parents are right, or at least most of the time, and I know that I do know that they always look out for our best interests, because I'm a parent and I look out for the best interest of my children. However, I know that I can be wrong sometimes, specifically this last time with my kid not getting to his practice on time and totally being sad about it. And, I take full responsibility. And that's what it is. Like, they want to blame us when things go wrong, and they want to take all the credit when things go right, which is standard. It's totally standard to even how the Lord works and how God works in our lives, right? When we're doing things right, we think it's all us. And when things go wrong, we're all like, God, why didn't you help me? And so it's like, it's standard procedure, okay? The system is the same. But I do think that we can forgive ourselves for those mistakes, for not being, perfect in the eyes of our children. And it's okay. They're going to have their free agency. That's what this whole plan is all about. It's making sure that they get to choose Jesus Christ on their own, just like we get to choose Jesus Christ on our own. And their path is going to look a little different than our path. And hopefully by the end, the paths will continue. Like, everyone has their own path, and sometimes the paths go like this, and sometimes they're like this, and then sometimes they're like this, and then sometimes they go back up. But as long as we're going like the right direction on the path, I think that's what matters. And so don't be so hard on yourself if they do stray. And I love that Lehi was like, I'll take the blame if they stray. I'll take the blame. And yes, like, take the blame, but don't take the shame. Does that make sense? Like, it's okay to take responsibility, but don't take the shame. But it is not okay for your children to cop an attitude and be like, you never taught me this, Mom, whatever, like stuff like that. Like don't, like, you're not a victim of them not choosing to follow Jesus Christ. And did I just say what did I just say? They're not a victim of the fact that they're not a victim of your parenting. You know what I mean? Like, they have their own choices to make, and they can choose to follow and they can choose not to follow. And then if they do choose to follow, that's still their choice. And if they choose not to follow, that's still their choice. They have all these consequences that go along with all the things. Anyways, what I'm saying is, don't be so hard on yourself with your parenting. If they stray, they stray. Just keep loving them, keep helping them, keep, and if they are strong with their testimony, continue to encourage that. And you continue to have a strong testimony as well. Anyway, I think we've been talking about this long enough. Okay. And since these aren't edited, you're just getting the full. Okay. Verse 7, wherefore, because of my blessing, the Lord God will not suffer that ye shall perish. Wherefore, he will be merciful unto you and unto your seed forever. Now, I think it's wise to note that Lehi is giving them like a father's blessing kind of thing, but also he's the prophet. So he's basically telling them, like, you're not going to suffer and you're not going to perish, and the Lord's going to be merciful. Now, I think it's different because we are going to suffer and we will perish. Like, those are some of the most, like 100% confident those are the things you're going to experience in life. But I think what he's saying is that you won't suffer and perish from the ultimate, like from not being able to receive the atonement of Jesus Christ in your life, because then he says that he will be merciful unto you and unto your seed forever. Well, the Lord's going to be merciful unto everyone, regardless of the fact that a prophet, I keep wanting to call him an apostle, a prophet has promised that to you. But he's also going to be merciful to you, even if, like more so now that a prophet has made that declaration, right? And so, but I mean, like, could the Lord be more merciful? I mean, I don't know. He's like so merciful already. And God has sent his son, Jesus Christ, for us so that we can go back. Like, how much more mercy do we need? I mean, we always need mercy, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, literally, we have all the mercy that we need, that we want. It's our choice to use it in our lives. But I think it's cute that he's like, you're not gonna, because of the blessing, because of my blessing, the Lord will not suffer that ye shall perish. So like, you can get that confused with sounding like you're not going to suffer or perish, but that's not what he meant. Because we all know we're suffering and we're definitely going to perish. Okay. Number 8, and it came to pass that after my father had made an end of speaking to the sons and daughters of Laman, he caused the sons and daughters of Lemuel to be brought before him. Honestly, why have I not purchased my reading glasses yet? What is up? I need to pause the video and order those right away, right? I have ADHD so bad, you guys. And he spake unto... Yes?
Mom,
Okay, poor gal. She's looking for a taco bus. Between you and me, I'm pretty sure I gave it away to... DI, which is like a local donation place that you drop off things you don't want anymore. And I told her that I couldn't find it. Tell me if you do the same thing. Like, you think that they're never gonna be able to find it? And I promise, I thought that I already got rid of like the little people for it, but I guess there was one more person, and that is the one that's triggering the memory of the bus. Anyways, it was like a taco food truck, Fisher Price or whatever. It was so cute, but she wasn't playing with it ever, so that's why I gave it away. Anyway, great. Stuff like that comes up like at the worst times, you know what I'm saying? Okay, and verse 9, and he spake unto them, saying, Behold, my sons and my daughters, who are the sons and the daughters of my second son, behold, I leave unto you the same blessing which I left unto my sons and daughters of Laman. Wherefore thou shalt not utterly be destroyed, but in the end thy seed shall be blessed. And it came to pass that when my father had made an end of speaking unto them, behold, he spake unto the sons of Ishmael, yea, and even all his household. And after he had made an end of speaking unto them, he spake unto Sam, saying, Blessed art thou and thy seed, for thou shalt inherit the land, like unto thy brother Nephi. And they shall be numbered with his seed, and thou shalt be even like unto thy brother, and thy seed like unto his seed, and thou shalt be blessed in all thy days. And it came to pass, after my father Lehi had spoken unto all his household, according to the feelings of his heart, and the Spirit of the Lord, which was in him, he waxed old, and it came to pass that he died and was buried. And it came to... Okay, so now we're on verse 13. And remember, verse 13 is the start of like where we were thinking about these challenges. Oh no, I guess it's verse 15. Just kidding. Let me keep going. And it came to pass that not many days after his death, Laman and Lemuel and the sons of Ishmael were angry with me because of the admonitions of the Lord. They're like always angry with Nephi, dude. For I, Nephi, was constrained to speak unto them according to his word, for I had spoken many things unto them, and also my father. Wherefore his death, many of which sayings are written unto mine, are written upon mine other plates, for a more history part are written upon mine other plates. Okay, now we're on verse 15. Okay. And upon these I write the things of my soul, and many of the scriptures which are engraven upon the plates of brass. For my soul delighteth in the scriptures, and my heart pondereth them, and writeth them for the learning and the profit of my children. Ooh, I love it. And the thing of my soul is just like sharing strength with sisters and my family, and just to keep having that testimony of Jesus Christ, because he is the only one that can help us from all of this chaos. Okay, behold, my soul delighteth in the things of the Lord, and my heart pondereth continually upon the things which I have seen and heard. Nevertheless, notwithstanding the great goodness of the Lord in showing me his great and marvelous works, my heart exclaimeth, O wretched man that I am. Yea, my heart sorroweth because of my flesh, my soul grieveth because of mine iniquities. Okay, so this is Nephi, and he thinks he's not that good. Like, we're all like, Nephi, what? I thought you were perfect. So even Nephi feels the inadequacies and imperfections of his life. Oh, excuse me. Verse 18, I am encompassed about because of the temptations and the sins which do so easily beset me. Oh boy, hold on. Oh boy, it's so sad. I feel really bad. She's like really sad about it, but I know like later she's gonna forget about it. So it's still sad, you know? It's like you try to clean up and you try to like get rid of stuff and you try to simplify, and then that happens, and then it makes you want to be a hoarder. Anyways, here we go. And number 9, and he spake, oh wait, I just read that, didn't I? No. And he spake unto them, saying, behold, my sons, nope, I did read that. Where am I even? Wow, that's what happens. Okay, I might need to start just like recording stuff on like at a specific time, you know. Came to pass not many days after his death, Laman and Lemuel. Oh, okay, so they wanted to kill Nephi. For I, Nephi, was constrained to speak unto them according, so verse 14, sorry. For I, Nephi, was constrained to speak unto them according to his word, for I had spoken many things unto them, and also my father before his death, many of which sayings are written upon my other... Oh, I did read that. This is what happens, okay? If this happens to you during scripture reading time, just know you're not alone, okay? You are not alone. Okay, we are... on verse 19. That's why I thought we were on verse 9, because we are on verse 19. Okay. But anyway, verse 18 said that I am encompassed about because of the temptations and the sins which just so easily beset me. And I think it's funny because what temptations must Nephi have? And the immediate temptations that would come to mind are that he could fight his brothers and would totally take them and win. Right, that's like the first temptation, like that's and maybe to talk back to them, you know, maybe use some cuss words. Those kind of things might be my temptations for Nephi there, because honestly, like what else could there be, right? They don't even have chocolate, like a temptation like to eat all of the chocolate, like they don't even have that. But you know, they had their own. But imagine Nephi saying this, and now imagine Nephi thinking of us and thinking, man, we are now encompassed about with temptation all the time. With all the social media stuff, holy. Like, there is a reason why certain people are born at a certain time. And sometimes I wonder why. Well, I know that I wasn't supposed to be born in the pioneering age because I could not walk that long. And so, but I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm just thinking Nephi would probably think we are encompassed about so much with temptations that beset us more than he was, you know. And I'm guessing that he would probably have a lot of sympathy and empathy for us with that as well. So, because not only do we have family problems, but we have world problems, we have cultural problems, we have community problems, we have economic problems, we have like so many personal problems, all the things, okay? Anyways, verse 19, and when I desire to rejoice, my heart groaneth because of my sins. Nevertheless, I know in whom I have trusted. I love that. Like, it doesn't matter what he's going through, what he's gone through. He knows who he has trusted, and that is what matters. Verse 20, my God hath been my support. He hath led me through mine afflictions in the wilderness, and he hath preserved me upon the waters of the great deep. He hath filled me with his love. even unto the consuming of my flesh. This is like so beautiful the way that he's writing this. It's like awesome testimony of like the Lord and how what he has done for him. I don't want to break it up, so I'm going to try and just keep going. He hath confounded mine enemies. Each one of these things could be like an affirmation. He hath confounded mine enemies unto the causing of them to quake before me. That was his brothers, remember? It's sad. His brothers have to be so against him. You know, as a mom, like that just makes me angry. You never want your kids to fight with each other. Verse 23, okay, I promise this time I'm going to keep going. Behold, he hath heard my cry by day, and he hath given me knowledge by visions in the night time. And by day have I waxed bold in mighty prayer before him. Yea, my voice have I sent up on high, and angels came down and ministered unto me. And upon the wings of his spirit hath my body been carried away upon my exceedingly high mountains, and mine eyes have beheld great things, yea, even too great for man. Therefore I was bidden that I should not write them. O then, if I have seen so great things, if the Lord in his condescension unto the children of men hath visited men in so much mercy, why should my heart weep and my soul linger in the valley of sorrow, and my flesh waste away, and my strength slacken because of mine afflictions? And why should I yield to sin because of my flesh? Yea, why should I give way to temptations that the evil one have placed in my heart to destroy my peace and afflict my soul? Why am I angry because of mine enemy? Awake, my soul, no longer droop in sin. Rejoice, O my heart, and give place no more for the enemy of my soul. Do not anger again because of mine enemies. Do not slacken my strength because of mine afflictions. Rejoice, O my heart, and cry unto the Lord, and say, O Lord, I will praise thee forever. Yea, my soul will rejoice in thee, my God, and the rock of my salvation. O Lord, wilt thou redeem my soul? Wilt thou deliver me out of the hands of mine enemies? Wilt thou make me that I may shake at the appearance of sin? May the gates of hell be shut continually before me, because that my heart is broken and my spirit is contrite. O Lord, wilt thou not shut the gates of thy righteousness before me, that I may walk in the path of the low valley, that I may be strict in the plain road? O Lord, wilt thou encircle me around in the robe of thy righteousness? O Lord, wilt thou make a way for mine escape before mine enemies? Wilt thou make my path straight before me? Wilt thou not place a stumbling block in my way, but that thou wouldest clear my way before me, and hedge not up my way, but the ways of mine enemy? O Lord, I have trusted in thee, and I will trust in thee forever. I will not put my trust in the arm of flesh, for I know that cursed is he that putteth his trust in the arm of flesh. Yea, cursed is he that putteth his trust in man, or maketh flesh his arm. Yea, I know that God will give liberally to him that asketh. Yea, my God will give me if I ask not amiss. Therefore I will lift up my voice unto thee. Yea, I will cry unto thee, my God, and my rock of my righteousness. Behold, my voice shall forever ascend up unto thee, my rock and my everlasting God. Amen. That's really good. That is so good. That's like the best prayer ever. Like, if you need to know how to pray, that's such a good prayer. I love it. Like, it shows that he's so humble. It shows that he's willing to put his trust in the Lord. He shows that he's not perfect, that he's making mistakes, and he shows that he wants to be blessed, to not slacken his strength because of his afflictions. But he doesn't tell him to try and make him like a superhero or anything. He just wants his strength not to slacken, which means that his strength needs to be at a certain level in order for it to not slacken, right? So he's not necessarily telling God to do something with things that are not there, but to do something with something that is there, that he is already actively, building up, like his strength is built up, right? So it's something that he can work with, right? Like if we, want to lift a 500-pound car, okay, just random example. If we want to lift a 500-pound car, we are not going to be able to do it from day one and just to be able to do it. And I don't know how many people could actually do this. This might be a really bad example. But what I'm going to say is like, but if we were to practice every day and train every day and get to the point where we're lifting a 500-pound whatever, then we can lift that 500-pound car, right? And first of all, cars don't weigh 500 pounds. Okay, I know that. Don't be coming to me with like, Linda. Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm just giving like a random, really bad example, okay? But you need to train and to get there, right? So he's saying like, let's pretend like at this 500-pound car strength that he can lift, he's telling the Lord not to slacken his strength, right? So he wants to be able to continue to be able to lift this strength or lift this car that's 500 pounds and not slacken. And I think that's a good request. But like if you were trying to ask the Lord, like, hey, will you help me lift this 500-pound car? He will help you by telling you what you need to do, like to train. But you're not going to be able to just do it because you said a prayer. So that's like what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so bad example. Don't listen to Don't listen to that. Anyways, I really like that. And remember the question is to look for passages that bring you comfort between that 15 and 35 verses. I gotta go pick up Finn from driver's ed. And so that's it for today. Stay strong, warrior.